Hey God, welcome back to another episode of Beat Church. Congratulations on another beautiful day here on planet Earth. Hope everybody's doing good. It's been a long, stressful week for me, but that's in the past. We're going to make some music here, or work on some music here. Let's see here. This one, I'm going to show you guys some experimental bass stuff and do a little mixing and probably some mastering on this one. Track's pretty much done. It's from 2021. Goes in line with the last few that I've done. I think this is like 3 of 4 or 3 of 5 that I want to put out on an EP. I was working on this shortly before entering dark times. It's been a journey, let me tell you. Speaking of which, that's why I'm doing Beat Church in the first place, and why it's called Beat Church. I like to start these off with a little bit of the good word, and then lately I've been ending it with a little bit of the good word as well. So let's jump into that before we get into the music. This is a short one today. So yeah, we got John 8:12 this morning. This one is when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." Short, simple, but so incredibly powerful. Yeah, we live in a dark world. There's a lot of dark stuff going on around us. I was walking in darkness not too long ago and didn't even know it. But the light was shined on me, and like the saying goes, I was blind, but now I can see. Man, just a little nugget for you guys. There is so much more. This is such a beautiful thing that has radically changed my life for the better. So I encourage you to dive into it on your own. Just putting a little nugget out there. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to play through this one. I feel like the only people that would like this track are people that are into like super weird experimental bass type stuff, because it's just kind of at the time I was really flexing my automation muscles, if you will, I suppose. Whatever, enough excuses, let's get into it. Yeah. Okay, let me do a little explaining here. So, like, these bass lines and all this weird whatever, like I said, for most people, not like, you know, the most musical shit ever, but just nerdy bass music head stuff for other nerdy bass music heads. It's just really simple, like, notes for the melodies. Coming from a single basic square wave in Serum. And then, I guess the magic, if you will, for those who care, is just everything after that in the chain is just like stressing the hell out of the synth that you're using. So I'm running it through all kinds of plugins that are like bit crushing and just stretching the sound and distorting it. And then over here I'm modulating a lot of stuff on Serum, like LFO rates, wavetable positions, and then the sub oscillator shape. All right, same thing here. Different Serum on a different channel. And there's just, I got EQs, automating this whole thing, turning on and off. Stereo width automation, gain automation. So yeah, I guess the overall idea there is like really simple melodies, and this might not be the best example for a melody at all, but then a lot of automation after that. Oops. And then let's see here. On this sub kick, kind of doing a little bit of the same thing. Automating some effects on and off. And then every 8 bars, just mixing it up, doing different automations to, I guess, keep it interesting. And then that right there at the end, let's see here, this little pluck thing. So just like the last 2 or 3 that I've done in the same realm that are going on this EP, this was from a sample flip challenge back in 2021. This was the sample that I picked from the pack. It's getting sidechained and all kinds of stuff, but that's not the original sample either. I took the original sample, chopped it up, made it into this thing, and then built the rest of the track around that. Okay, so anyway, need to do, it's not terrible, but my typical mixing stuff here. So, got all my drum elements running through this drum group. You can see there's a missing limiter here. Let's get rid of that. Saturator, I'm going to add that again. Tops group. Missing limiter, missing EQ. Missing limiter. I'll hang on to that for a minute. Tops group, everything that's not a bass, not a drum element is going through this top group. And then all of the bass tracks are running through the bass group. All these groups are running through a pre-master. Yep. Missing some plugins there. And then from pre-master into the mastering chain. So let's start with the drums here. Let's get some of these hi-hats. Sweet, I'm not doing anything to that. Perfect, because my whole strategy here is for each one of these groups to just barely be clipping the output. I could probably push it a little bit, but okay with that for now. Usually set these group outputs to about -8, -10. So when all combined, is my camera still okay? We're glitching. Sweet. -8, -10-ish on the group outputs, so they can hit the pre-master without distorting, and then pre-master into main master without distorting. So let's start there. Turn my headphones up a bit. Okay, adding the same chain onto the bass. Let me go ahead and drop this to -8. And then I want to get the drums and the bass playing nicely together. Oops. Would help if we had a bass line to listen to. Or two. God, what is going on? Okay. I think I'm gonna take this bass group to -10. It's a little hot. changing my mind. Okay. Man, the weirder a song is, the harder it is to get them levels right. Okay, close enough. We can still make adjustments later. Let's do the same with the tops group. Let me try something here, because Serum, all three of these Serums, are doing like the buggy thing that Serum always does, to me at least. Let me see here, see if we can save the day. All the time, for me anyway, Serum will just start like randomly doing things like multiple octaves lower. Just out of nowhere. I'll close the session, reopen it. Usually it's back to where it is. Super annoying that that happens though. Let's see here. Thanks for your patience. Let's see. Yep. One of them's back. Just not the main one. Okay, let's see. That just made like an already kind of like weird, most likely shitty song sound even worse. But yeah, one of these bass lines is still playing like super low octaves, like it's barely even oscillating. We're gonna power through though. Let's see here. I'm going to power through the technical difficulties, act like this is the way the song is supposed to sound. There's definitely something off on one of these things, and I'm not going to reboot Ableton. So, yeah, I'm going to push my pre-master up to clipping all those groups a little bit, and then just go into quick and dirty mastering session from there. Oh. Okay, so we're clipping on our master. Sweet, as per usual. The way I have this set up, all the individual tracks going through their groups and everything else I just showed, and then the groups feeding into the pre-master. I can then control the main output here on this pre-master, right? Probably drop this down to -8-ish. So now that's feeding into the main and hopefully not clipping. Yep, cool, okay. Quieter now, so I'm gonna turn my headphones up a little bit. Okay, so on this first EQ on my mastering chain, first thing I'm doing is cutting off everything below 30 hertz, everything above 18,000. Right, can't hear any of that. It's wasted energy, basically. That's what the internet tells me anyway. Second thing I'm doing is looking for annoying peaks, which of course this particular song is full of them. If I wanted to pull them down, could do that here, or go into that individual track, find that sound, lower it, EQ it out, whatever. Okay, good there. Next up, compressor. Looking for 1.5 decibel-ish of gain reduction up here. Cool. A little saturator to warm it up. I usually push the drive on this a little bit. Back it off a little bit if it gets to sounding like shit, which this track does before any of this anyway. But yeah, that's the general idea. On this multi-band compressor, looking for 3 decibels of gain reduction on every band. This one's struggling. This is actually expanding. This is where the kick sits. Okay. This tonal balance control, everything else from here on is like loudness and EQ curves basically. This one seems to be pretty good. A little bit here in the high end. If I wanted to be super OCD about it, that's what I have these EQ8 set up for. If I want to push this little band of EQ up to be in line with the rest of this, which is totally not necessary. I could use an EQ8 for that. I'm generally looking for like the middle. So I see a dip starting here, kind of ending over here-ish. So I'll look for the middle of that, 2000 hertz. Cool. Put that there. You could bump that up and then kind of sweep the Q on there to match your dip. Oh my god, that's annoying. Who made this? So another thing to keep in mind is I'm doing it in this section of the track because the weird things that Serum is doing towards the back with the other bass line. You don't want to be doing all this to one little section and then play your whole track and then that section sounds great, but you did all your EQing because of some annoying funk block, whatever that means, sound, and then other parts of the track aren't playing that and you've EQ'd to that section. So keep that in mind. Okay, I'm gonna turn my headphones down. Using this little insight. Oh, now I can't hear myself. Tight. I'm going to use this insight meter here. I'm looking for about -9 integrated LUFS. I've said it 1,000 times. No, I've said it now 25 times. We have not done 1,000 of these episodes. Why you lying, dude? -9, I got that number from running a lot of my favorite similar tracks that have been professionally mixed and mastered. And on average, those guys are hitting around -9. So, figured that out, stuck with it. So I'm going to push my limiter until I get to -9 LUFS. Keep refreshing it because this plugin's a little bit on the slow side. Turning my headphones down. Okay. Close enough. I forgot, this is supposed to be a quick and dirty master, not OCD overload master. That comes later. already know this one's going to be a weird one for sub-level checking. Oh my gosh. So what I've got here is an EQ8 map to this high cut macro, and then this meter afterwards. Get that out of here. I'm going to cut this down to 80 hertz just to hear the sub, and same thing with the -9 LUFS. I ran a bunch of my favorite tracks from artists that have been professionally mixed and mastered through this, my whole mastering chain actually, and -6 is where all of those people's subs were hitting. Again, with this being such a weird song and weird, stupid, experimental bass line stuff, yeah, whatever, we'll see. I'll show you the process though. Also, if you're doing hip-hop stuff, in my experience, it's closer to 100 than it is 80. Okay, so we're not terribly far off there. We can bump that up with our low end band of our multi-band compressor. And there's lots of ways to do it. You could just go to the bass line itself and bump it up. So we're kind of, when it's really, yeah, well, that makes sense. You can do the bass line itself. I could do this this bass group. If only one of these bass lines, if like one of them's hitting -6, another one's at -3, I know that other one needs to be bumped up. Same thing with the third one. You know, if you got 24 different bass lines, you get the idea. If they're all on point and they're all at the same value, but too low, you can bump up the bass group. This is like the lazy way of doing it, if I'm being honest. But with the other bass line, Serum and the other bass lines being weird, and I'm not rebooting Ableton, I'll just show you the process behind it. So yeah, getting that guy to -6, muy importante. You do not want to be in a coffee shop playing this experimental bass track in front of 3 people on a shitty PA and not have your subs hitting right. You know what I mean? So yeah, very important to check that. Check that against other people's tracks, like I said. Yep. I'll show you one more here. This is Voxengo Span, free 99. Ooh, we're a little hot. So, let me pause so my brain can process all these things. Voxengo Span, free 99. I'm looking for my low end to be hitting around -30. It's jumping above it a little bit. It was jumping above on the sub-level checker as well. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed it 3 more whole decibels. But the idea here is using multiple meters to make sure that your levels are right, your EQs are right, not trusting just one and one alone. And not also, don't rely just on the visual meters itself. Use your ears and the meters. Sometimes one of those is off, or vice versa. She's a little hot. Okay, let's go against our better interest. Trust the meters. Turn the bass down. God. That is definitely not what I wanted to do. Here we go. We'll go 5 on it. Something easy that you can do. Hold up. If your track is basically there and you get to this point, and you're self-mastering, of course. If your low end just isn't there, you've got a bass line, whatever synth you picked, it's just, you love it, you don't want to change it, but the low end is just not there. Just duplicate that track. If you're in Ableton, use an operator. And just make that your low end. And then you can generally just mix that low end sub bass track in until everything's on point. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I'm explaining that terribly, but I've made many a songs and gotten to this point and just been like, wow, there's zero low end here. You know, I don't know, ear fatigue, choosing bad sounds maybe, but that's a trick that'll save you, is making a dedicated sub track. Just duplicate your MIDI or whatever. Yeah. Cool. Let's just listen through the whole thing. Why not? The other serum started working. Sweet. Okay, let's go ahead. Control-Alt-Delete. I mean, collect all and save. Put it back where it belongs in the hard drive archive, never to be seen or heard from again. Yeah, we made progress. That's good. Sat down. We're productive. This one, in my opinion, well, other than the main mastering, not the quick and dirty mastering, when I get I think I have one more track, maybe two more for this EP. When those have gotten to this point, I'll put them in I guess a real mastering session, if you will, and compare them against each other, see what sticks out, make sure they blend well together and all that good stuff. Anyway, other than that, I think this one's ready for 5 or 6, 7 tops Spotify streams. Yeah, we're gonna call it there. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm gonna end it the way I started it, as per usual. I hope somebody gets something from this. I know it's so easy to turn away from it. The world doesn't want y'all to know about it, I'm telling you, man. Anyways, let's get to it. Ending it with John 8:12. When Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, "I'm the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." I truly believe that I have the light of life now. Definitely was walking in darkness. Definitely did not know it. Definitely almost did not end well. Man, thank God what happened to me, and that I'm here to talk about it, and that I'm here making music again, sharing some of this knowledge with people, even though, oh my God, this track just, you know, it's not going to win a Grammy anytime soon. But who cares about that? Just here to try to have fun and share what I know with people, and spread some of that light. So just another nugget for you guys. Encourage you guys to dive in, especially, man, if you know you're in darkness, or if you don't know, if you don't know you're in the light, you might not know you're in the darkness. I'll just put it at that. I'm not here to preach. I'm just here to share this with you guys, man, because it's been so freaking impactful for me that I can't help but like tell other people about this. It's crazy. Anyway, okay, we're ranting. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Terrible at outros. We'll see you next time. Peace.